Pahlavi Texts, translated by E.W. West, Part 4. Contents of the Nasks. Clarendon, Oxford University Press, 1892. Dinkard, Book 9, Chapter 59. 1. The 13th Vargard, Tad Thwa Parasa, is that the obeisance of the archangels is performed by him who is educated in the recitation for the archangels of one learned in the religion, which is when he has to understand the recitation and to maintain the recitation of revelation with propriety, which is when an enumeration or form inako as to the qualities of the archangels exists, which is the obeisance for the sacred beings. 2. For on this subject one mentions 7 kinds of men, educated or well-educated or ill-educated, who are connected with it in statements by those of the world. The merely educated man, particularly also the physician, explains this, which is not mentioned and does not occur, that it is well or ill disposed. The merely well-educated man, particularly also the physician, explains this, which is mentioned and occurs, that it is well disposed. The merely ill-educated man, and also the physician, explains this, which is mentioned and occurs, that it is ill-disposed, and the merely uneducated man explains anything whatever that is really life. 3. One educated in the recitation for the sacred beings, who, when on account of the necessity of speaking evil about a learned man, he is mischievous, a nog, so that he keeps in viciousness, and has remained in the obeisance for the sacred beings, is called not ransomed. La taktik. 4. One ill-educated in the recitation for the sacred beings, which is, when it happens that he keeps in viciousness, becomes even an apostate, who is acquainted with the religion. 5. One uneducated in what pertains to the sacred beings is of 2 kinds, either good and void of learning, or an evil one who is void of knowledge. The good and void of learning worships the sacred beings unobservantly with the proper rites, and the evil one who is void of knowledge thinks to worship the sacred beings unobservantly with improper rites, and has no means of trustworthy reliance upon the religion of the sacred beings and their obeisance. 6. And one well-educated in what pertains to the sacred beings through the 3 words of the connected series hum pad vandisni, which is good, ku, and learned, and through what pertains to the sacred beings expounds faithfully the object of the obeisance for the sacred beings. 7. This too, that by him who teaches to mankind that thing which becomes their hope of eternity, mankind are taught to come to the religion of the sacred beings, even for this reason, because the Bohumanic attainment to the religion of the sacred beings is to be required wisely for them. Its requirement wisely for them is a benefit for the steadfast, and becomes a consideration, mini, for them, and the consideration of the benefit of the steadfast is through hope of eternity, which is provided for the benefit on account of which the hope of eternity, which is the basis, is the reason even of the acceptance of the religion. 8. This too, that the perfection of the first among the existences is taught by him who has retentively remembered his words, even for this reason, because remembrance is the acme of every perfection. 9. This too, that he becomes a nourisher of good works, who shall perform good works publicly, even for this reason, because others are taught thereby, and good works increase in the world. 10. This too, that by him who has fruit in the possession of Uhamas, the development of the world in virtue is taught, even for this reason, because a lawful preserver and a producer of liberality arise. Through the fruit they enlarge the root of the power of the angel of liberality, and pluck its fruit. The world is improved thereby, and mankind are taught about it. 11. This too, that through complete mindfulness, words and actions are truly taught by him whose ceremonial is for complete mindfulness, even for this reason, because there are both words and actions in the ceremonial. 12. This too, that the sagacious creativeness, farzanak, dahi, of Ahura is taught, which is the exposition to Ahura of the production, the renovation, even for this reason, because the advantage of the sagacity of Ahura is the consequence of its beginning, and its middle is through the power of the goodness and knowledge of him himself, and because it is destiny as regards the creations, and whoever possesses that power for the assistance of the renovation is extolled for that sagacity, and people are taught thereby. 13. This too, that the reward of Zarathustra is appropriated by him who decides about duty and opinion, even for this reason, because through that discrimination he is similar to Zarathustra. 14. This too, that the recitation of revelation is performed for mankind by him who extends the propagation of the religion, even for this reason, because owing to the gratification of virtuous practicers, virtue increases. 15. This too, that the religion of Ahura is made progressive by him who shall perform the ceremonial of Ahura, even for this reason, because through that performance of his occurs the blessing of the provider of the right. Ni Rangi Nidar. 16. This too, that the perfectly righteous man of just judgment is protected from the annoying spirit by him who possesses the resemblance Angu Nagi unto Bokuman, that they behold and resources through virtue, even for this reason, because the vexation which is partaken by him, the spirit, owing to the just judgment among those of the nature Kiharikan of mankind, is redoubled, Dokani Aito, by their pleasure owing to the Bokumanic resemblance, and the annoying spirit is disabled, Akari Hend, by that accumulated vexation which occurs for his annoyance. 17. This too, that the exploits of the archangels are taught by him who is really capable of what pertains to the archangels, even for this reason, because they become the hope of consoling Vedvar end, and are also indicative of the renovation of the universe, the hope of a virtuous end. 18. This too, that the words of him who is Zarathustra, that people shall become supplicant, are taught by him who is for the benefiters, even for this reason, because they who are benefiters on account of an inclination for the religion make others eager for the religion and make them mount for prayer. 19. And this too, that by him who gives anything to a righteous man, this is also done that someone else may give even to him who is vile, even for this reason, because the foundation of liberality is thereby prepared for him. 20. Perfect righteousness is excellence. Another couple reasons for spiritual community are that when one person knows and leads the ritual, those who authentically follow along in the ritual count that ritual for themselves too. Now, I don't think it should be quite like you have a couple priests and then you have a crowd watching the priest. You want to reverently take part in it somehow, a little more than just watching. But even that has benefit. And some people have the opportunity to learn things that other people haven't had the opportunity to learn. And if you all go off on your own and just